I was 5 years old when I pulled off my first score for my mother. She says, Stephen, we need to make some money. Your father's a cheapskate, and he don't give me no money. So we got to do something to make some money. And I was thinking, right there where you go to school, Seabreeze Elementary School there in Woodmont, Connecticut, which is a part of Milford, Connecticut, on the coast in Connecticut. She says, there's Robert's Old Treat Nursery, garden and farm. They had a store and they had a farm. They raised flowers. She says, it's right across from your school. She says, you don't need to case out the area. You should know it. But right across from over there, that old retreat guy, Robert O'Treat, he's got them flowers up there, them really pretty ones, daffodils, tulips, all those really nice flowers. He said, what I want you to do is take your red flyer up there, get down low, hide behind a wishing well, get behind the tractor. I'm going to give you these scissors I stole from Sears, and you just cut real close some of them flowers. Don't take them all in the same spot, because then Mr. Retreat is going to notice if you steal them all in the same spot. Then you won't be able to go back and get any more. So spread it out. Get some there, get some here, get some here, get some everywhere. And fill up that whole flyer and just come back. Now, if anybody says anything to you, remember you're just a kid. They can't do nothing to you. All you do is just tell them that you just liked them and you thought they were pretty. Don't tell them that your mother sent you down there. You know, it's kind of like at night when, I have all my friends come over and we're playing trouble. And, then people look like the Vikings that come over. The ones you said look like the Vikings in your picture books. Hunter from the Hells Angels, and we got that Driftwood, the hippie, and all them other people that come over when my father's working the night shift, man, party. These things you just don't tell. Your mom, you can't tell on your mom. So anybody says anything to you, you just like the flowers. That's it. So I go up there. I got a good haul. I filled it up with the flowers. Get back home. Mom sends me outside. She says, get me, as long as grass you can get, and some shrub. Hey, just get anything, man. You're going to make some bouquets, but I'm not going to use all these good flowers in one bouquet. These old biddies, they'll see you, and you're so cute and innocent looking. Well, they're going to buy these flowers. We're going to just dress them up a little, So I call them Promethean bouquets. Remember how Prometheus, he fooled Zeus, with the meat and the fat under the thing, and it was kind of the same thing. That's how our bouquets were going to be. So, we make them up, and my mom put maybe one tulip and one daffodil in the thing, right? And I go door to door, and my mom says, now make sure that you hold up that bouquet so they see the good flower and not all the weeds and the grass that's stuck in there. And you just smile at them, and they'll buy this bouquet from you. They're not going to be able to resist you. You know. So that's what I did. I went door to door for my mom selling flowers. And that was the first thing that I stole, flowers, which is kind of metaphoric if you think about it, because back in those days, in the '60s, it was 1965. All the hippies around, they referred to us kids as flower children. I was a flower child, and I was a flower child, and I guess in a way, without the sexuality part to it, I was deflowered pretty damn young. So anyway, I'm out one time, and I know my mom needs money. I see that, we're poor. We lived in a gardens cottage, is what it was. It was actually this big estate, dilapidated estate. It was all closed down. This old Jewish guy owned it. And his name was Eli. Right? We only seen him when he came around to take a swim in the ocean. And they had an outside shower right in back of our cottage, which was once a gardener's servants' quarters. So the only part of this whole property that he utilized was the shower, the outside shower. And the knobs were on the outside. Well, he was always complaining every time he came over because he did not want us there. You know, my mother basically made my father lie for us to get to live there to begin with. This place was not suitable for children. There was glass everywhere. All the windows were broken, boarded up, spray painted over. You know, I think my mother, wrote with red paint pig everywhere. But there was this Olympic sized pool that was full of junk. I mean, everything in the neighborhood, you think about it. And from that house, there was everything: toasters, refrigerators, uh, suitcases, all types of stuff, bikes, rats, mice, cats, all types of things lived in there. Even a family of raccoons, right? So, and my father, he got most of the furnishings in our house from the pool. I'm talking about the bedroom set, the kitchen set, man, it was pulled up out of the pool. So, anyway, this landlord, he comes to wash the salt off his body from after his little beach swim. And the strange thing about this shower is the knobs that control the temperature on the outside of the shower stall. So I'm sitting there on the thing blowing bubbles with Darlene, and I see him get in there and get all meticulous with these water things. And he's like, Bud, what are you kids doing back here? Like, where's your mother? You're not supposed to be here. So he gets in there, and I don't know what possessed me, but I went over there and I turned off the hot water and put the padlock that he used to lock the door. I took the lock and locked them in, turned off the hot water. He's yelling. My mom comes to the door, and Eli said, Ethel, what are these kids doing? Yeah. And my mother goes, what are you doing for his benefit, right? What are you doing to our landlord? Unlock that door and let him out of there. Oh, they got the cold water, da da da. Right? My mother goes to me, she says, listen, turn off the cold and put on the hot. And so I'm just a kid. I'm 5 years old. I didn't know any better. I went over there, turned off the cold, I turned the hot all the way up, and he's let me out of here. So anyway, that's where we were living. We were living in a servant's shack, you know, and there was a big old hole in the floor. It wasn't a good place, man. The veranda looked like it was a shipwreck scene underneath the ocean. Like that it had been hit by so many nor'easters. It was just all tore apart. There was gray curling paint everywhere, man. In the bushes, on the grass, everywhere. But I loved it. We played on the beach, me and my sister. We made sand castles, and everything seemed all right. On the way to school in the morning, my aunt lived across the street, and she'd wave me over there, sweeping up her rose petals. She lived in a big old immaculate captain's house, and it was night and day between the money situation. Well, she'd call me over there to help me cross the street and try to pump me for information. But my mom already trained me. She says, listen, people are going to try to pump you for information. They're going to be sly about it. They're going to ask you this, ask you that. You don't know nothing, right? So my aunt would be like, hey, what happened last night? There's a lot of motorcycles. I heard them over there. It's the Grateful Dead. It's the Hells Angels. My mother's having big parties, man. So I was like, I don't know. I didn't see anything, Aunt Margaret. She says, well, you know what? Your nose and your ears, they're going to grow like Pinocchio. They really are. But yeah, that's the first thing I started stealing from my mom, man. I started stealing flowers. And one day I came home from kindergarten, and Mrs. Daly was sitting where my mother was sitting, used to sit. And she says, your mom's not here no more. She has to go to the farm because the farmer needed someone to milk cows and churn butter. So she's not here right now. And she'll be back in a little while. I can't tell you when, but she'll be back. Well, it was a few days later that my father, he packed me up in the suitcase that he pulled up out of the pool. And that there suitcase that he pulled up out of the pool, it was all full of centipedes and coated with uh, some type of monk, you know what I mean? Some type of organism, man. And it was just nasty. But he made my mom clean that thing because we were going to use that suitcase to go on a vacation back up to Maine. And I swear, that suitcase looked like it came from someone that belonged on the Titanic or was on the Titanic. I mean, not belonged on there. I mean, it was just that type of suitcase. And now, a few days later, I had to pack all my stuff up in there so he could drive me to the children's center and sign my custody away to the state. But anyway, life goes on, man. And then you get to Elon. And then they really do some damage.